The Necrochasm. Now, a lot of people give No Land Beyond a bad rap for being the worst exotic introduced in the Dark Below DLC, but if you saw my other video, you'll know that I disagree with that. To me, the title belongs to the one and only Necrochasm. For those of you who don't know, the Necrochasm is the raid exotic weapon that only drops on Crota hard mode, but before you get to that point, there are a few other stipulations you'll have to satisfy before you can even think about getting this gun. This gun is an evolutionary weapon, the first one in Destiny, and the steps to upgrade it do take a bit of time. First, you have to grind for sometimes hours on end to acquire the common version, which is the Husk of the Pit. Then you have to kill Hive with it, grind to Eris rank 3 to get the Embalming Orb, I believe it is. Embalming Orb or Rune's Core, one of those two. Then you have to upgrade the gun to Eidolon Ally, max out the XP on Eidolon Ally, and you had to wait until Dark Below DLC came out, or not the DLC, you had to wait until Crota Hard Mode came out, which was about a month after the DLC dropped, to get a chance to get the Crux of Crota, which for me got it on my second try. Some people didn't get it until their fifth or sixth. This gun, sadly, was underwhelming. A lot of people were expecting something a little bit more. Now, if you did see the stats before the gun came out on Destiny DB or something, you will notice that it was a high rate of fire auto rifle with very low impact. Generally, these weapons aren't too great, but when you think of it as a raid exotic weapon that you only get from completing hard mode, then you expect more from a weapon like this. You expect the cursor explosions to be bigger, to actually play a role, not just look cool and have a cool sound effect in the middle of a PvP match. You expect the perks to be actually usable in some situations, at least against the Hive. This gun should be able to do something against its own race of creatures. The Vex was good against everything, the Necrochasm is not good against anything. And I know theoretically, based on the data, the Necrochasm does have the highest time to kill in the game, but you wouldn't notice it, mainly because of the stability on these types of weapons. Yes, you can pretty much max it out, but that doesn't mean that you'll be hitting every shot a headshot every time. Now, a lot of people have suggested, including myself, I posted on Reddit about a month ago or so, that what if this gun shot like the Needler? Now, I know a lot of people have been speculating stuff like this. Perhaps it could come in a buff or a patch someday. But if this gun shot like the Needler, let's say it took away all precision damage to keep it fair and balanced. It shot like the Needler, all of its bullets tracked, and the cursor explosion procced on how many needles, in quotes, hit the target. Now, aside from the fact that that would make it the most unique weapon in the game, it would play off of the nostalgia that Bungie has from the Halo series. Because, as we all know, Bungie created Halo. A lot of people who played Halo are playing Destiny, and that nostalgia shot will absolutely be a delight to some players. Because I, for example, remember back in the days of Halo 2 and Halo 1, back when you could actually dual wield needlers, just blasting people, not even having to aim, point and click, the most skillless you could ever play Halo. I was a noob back then, so that was my go-to setup if I could get it. And that was just a ton of fun. And being able to relive that in some way would just be absolutely awesome in Destiny. This game needs more nods to the Halo series, I think. Yes, you have the building looks like Master Chief's helmet and stuff like that, but of course that's besides the point. I just think this gun should perform a little bit differently, and I completely agree with the idea that this gun should shoot needles like the Needler did. Now, of course, we can't place all of the blame on the gun itself, but mainly the archetype of what the gun is, and that is a high rate of fire weapon. High rate of fire weapons have much lower impacts than the slower versions, and generally they are not very competitive. These guns desperately need a buff to make them more usable and appeal more to the audience and players of the game. Because right now, the only time people ever really use a Necrochasm or a low rate of fire auto rifle is just to troll. And yes, it is cool to see curse for all explosions and all that, but when they don't have any effect, it turns the gun into a novelty weapon. A weapon just to say, yeah, that's my Necrochasm, I'm just gonna hang it on the wall like a trophy and never touch it. This gun should have been like the Vex. It should have been a powerful raid weapon that you got for all of your hard work, for all of your grinding, just something that you earned and you feel good about. Because right now, I don't feel good about owning this gun. I feel like I wasted my time, and it's just freaking annoying that I got something so bad. But that's my own opinion. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. I think this gun should have been more. It should have something cool about it. Perhaps, maybe no recoil. Maybe it should shoot needler shots. I don't know. If this gun shot like a laser, it might be excusable. It's a very niche PvP role. Much like the No Land Beyond was made for PvP. I think this gun could find a home in that. But right now, as far as PvE is concerned, this gun is absolutely underpowered, outclassed by nearly every gun at 331 attack, despite it having the highest attack in the game. I don't think 8 points of damage really makes or breaks it. if they want to improve for PvE, they definitely need to bump that up to maybe like a 360. Now that sounds like an arbitrary number, but the Dark Below exotics, not the Dark Below, House of Wolves exotics are speculated to be up to 365. So if they could be at or around the same level as that, then maybe this gun might find some use, maybe in Nightfalls, and we desperately need it to work well for the next raid, because that's what these guns are for. They're made to help you in later content, and if it fails to do that in what we have now, then the future is not looking very bright for this gun, and I hope Bungie finds a way to fix it. And that's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I do manage to get an above 7,000 score in this gameplay with the Necrochasm, and do break 30 kills, not quite 40 like some of my previous gameplays you may have seen, but I was pretty proud of it nonetheless. This is a very fun gun to use. It's cool seeing the Cursor Explosions proc and everything. But as it stands now, the Necrochasm is a novelty weapon, and you can definitely live without it, and I recommend you do, at least until a buff is announced for it. But again, these are just my opinions. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. I always appreciate feedback. And I'll see you guys again in my next video, which will be covering the Monte Carlo. Alright, see you guys then. Y'all have a nice day. Thank you.